Welcome back to the Minnesota Twins franchise Season 2. Last episode we saw the Twins continue their winning ways as a Yunel Escobar home run helped lift them to their 8th straight victory, giving them a nice cushion in the AL Central. At 18-9 to begin the season, this team is off to a much better start than I obviously anticipated. For a number of years, the pitching has been a problem, but that is starting to turn around. And especially looking at the pitching that is succeeding down at AAA and AA, I'm starting to get pretty optimistic about that part of the team. Now, if only the hitting was impressing half as much as the pitching is. The Twins are still one of the worst hitting teams in the majors right now, and I'm starting to think about some roster moves that might have to be made if things don't turn around. Here's a look at the first month for Minnesota as they finish with 6 straight victories, all in the division. And as we get into the month of April, we see the Twins do end up having their losing streak snapped by the Detroit Tigers in a 5-2 defeat. This was a game started by Steven Gonzalez, and it was one of his worst matchups so far, as the Tigers had 10 hits and 4 runs off of him. Following this game, the Twins do lose the first 2 to the Toronto Blue Jays, so now a winning streak turns into a losing streak, as the Twins look to end it in Toronto against a familiar face, Francisco Liriano. Both teams have started very strong. Twins 18-12, Toronto 20-9. However, Francisco Liriano has not pitched very well in his first 5 starts, a 6.39 ERA. As we jump into the first inning, this is Byron Buxton, still waiting to see his bat turn around as a lazy fly ball ends up being caught in right field. Getting the start today, as he has been getting more starts recently, is Kenny Vargas at first base. And on the second pitch he sees, he's going out deep to right center. It has some carry, and this will leave the yard. A home run for Kenny Vargas, his 3rd of the season, as the Twins go up 1-0 in the first inning. On the mound for Minnesota is the young Fernando Romero, who has been impressive this year, but hasn't always gotten the run support in his starts. First batter is Devin Travis, as Romero gets a full count and then misses a couple times on the outside to put a runner on. He then retires the next 2, and Jose Bautista swings and misses at a high Romero fastball. On to the 7th inning, this is Chris Coghlan looking at a low strike. Romero 0-1, gets a circle change right on the corner, and looking for the strikeout. He gets it, same pitch, same spot. Romero starts very promising. Into the 3rd with him. Early swing there on the circle change. That's a filthy pitch when he's on. Slider down and in. Jared Saltalamacchia down swinging. And looking for another good inning of work. This is lifted into right. Caught by Kepler. The Blue Jays can't get much against Romero in the first few innings. We go all the way back to Kenny Vargas, who had the only hit to this point in the entire game. He works the count full, gets a pitch right over the middle, and sends this out to right center. Not as far as the first one, but a homer and a double for Vargas, proving he is deserving of all this playing time. Now we have Max Kepler, who fouls off a fastball right over the middle. And as he falls behind, there is a front door slider by Liriano, and Kepler goes down looking. So it's up to Yunel Escobar, the hero of last episode. This is drifting towards the seats in foul territory and ultimately caught. So the Twins cannot bring home Kenny Vargas. In the following inning, Jose Bautista did come back from that strikeout to homer off Romero, but they would not be able to get much more against him. As we go into the middle part of the game, the Twins do get the bases loaded. A hit and a couple walks. And it's the exact person I want up with the way he's been hitting. Kenny Vargas, bases loaded. And Liriano really not wanting a whole lot to do with him. 3-0, walks him on 4 pitches. That's an RBI for Vargas and a bases loaded chance now for Miguel Sano. A chance to really break this game wide open. Liriano following his mound visit. This is down the line but foul wide of the chalk. And a 1-2 ground ball hit to short. Easy flip onto second. Twins can't get more than the 1 run. So into the 5th, here is Romero getting a soft ground ball hit to Polanco. and the play will be made. Outside of Bautista's home run, Romero was pretty much in control. Escobar on to second, play made there. 5 solid innings of work for Romero, but not a ton of run support again. Max Kepler has really been struggling lately, and here's another pitch that he can't do much with but pop it up to deep third base. That is easily played. Next up, you have John Jay making the start in the place of Eddie Rosario, who's not hitting very well against lefties at the moment, and Jay goes down swinging. Nobody on the Twins outside of Kenny Vargas really impressing at the plate. On to the 6th, Kevin Pillar at bat as Romero had a pretty good pitch count going and gets the strikeout going from one corner to the other, 96-mile-per-hour fastball. 2 down, looking for one more. This is ripped into left by Josh Donaldson and chased down in the corner by John Jay. On to second, throw is there. It's an outfield assist. What a throw by Jay. Let's check it out again. From that wall, he's able to throw it on one hop perfectly to the bag. I've talked a lot this year about how this defense is really becoming a strength, and that's just another example. On to the 7th here, Brian Pena getting some playing time as he lifts this deep into the, well, actually shallow in the outfield. Pretty deep for Tulowitzki to travel into the outfield. He makes the play. So we go into the 7th. Romero stays in the game. I thought that he could still go probably one more inning, especially with the way he pitched in the 6th inning. However, a leadoff single followed by another one up the middle would be the end of the day for him. So a little bit of trouble here for Trevor May as he enters, doing very well against righties, and I liked him in this matchup against the Blue Jays. How about that 12-6? He gets the strikeout. And with 1 down, soft ground ball, maybe a play at second. May tries it and does get it. A fielder's choice. Just needs one more to preserve the lead, and a ground ball hit to first. Vargas looking for the bag. There you go, just in time. Twins end the 7th inning, still holding Toronto to 1 run. There's Kenny Vargas again. Oh, a breaking ball left up. Vargas gets on top of it, and he is retired. Twins looking for some insurance and not finding it, as Sano swings and misses at the fastball. It's just amazing to me how every team is so good at keeping the ball down against Sano. These power swings all end up being a bit too early. Bottom 8 now, Trevor May stays into the ball game. He doesn't waste a whole lot of time either. 3-pitch strikeout, and down goes Devin Travis. Here is Josh Donaldson with 2 down. 12-6 does not get the call, full count. Donaldson grounds it to Polanco. Another solid inning. And on to the 9th we go. Just 3 hits for the Twins and 6 for Toronto. This is Kepler at bat to lead off. He'll scorch this out to deep right, but the catch is made by Chris Coughlin. Here is John Jay, who had the outfield assist earlier. This is a blooper into shallow center that does fall in, so the Twins get their 4th hit. Jay is one of our speediest players, so he takes off for second base. Polanco misses, but Jay still ends up stealing second base with 2 outs. 0-2 count to Jorge Polanco, and that one is not coming back. Breaking ball up in the zone. Polanco drives it to deep left field, and the Twins open up a 3-run lead. It's the first home run of the year for Jorge Polanco, and the best pitch we probably saw all game long. Polanco does not miss it, and the Twins have a bit more comfort as we move on to the bottom of the 9th inning. Glenn Perkins comes in. He did blow a couple saves last episode, so want to see him settle back in. Numbers still look great for him. Full count here to Donaldson, ripped past Polanco, and the Blue Jays at least get 1 aboard. Perkins then to Jose Bautista. I think we all know what he wanted to do with that swing, but he misses 2 fastballs in a row. Perkins gets the first out. Then it's Kendrys Morales, 1-2, and ripped down the line, another hit for the Blue Jays. And Donaldson wants to stretch this. Jay's throw is in time, another outfield assist. Great game for John Jay. He comes off the bench, he does get a hit and a run scored, a stolen base, and then 2 outfield assists. I love seeing performances like that. So 2 down, and a fly ball hit to right. Game over for the Blue Jays. Twins end their little 3-game skid here. I like the way they played late in the ball game. Vargas, Jay, Polanco, and Romero were the standouts to me as the Twins take this 4-1. Another pretty light offensive day on both sides. We've seen a lot of games like this over this second season. So on to a new series against Kansas City, and we get some bad news down at AAA. Injuries to Yadier Alvarez and Quentin Berry. They shouldn't miss a ton of time, but don't want to see players getting hurt. On to the Kansas City series in the 9th inning, trying to make a comeback. And a good job by Hosmer playing the line, robbing Sano of a potential double. Then it's Max Kepler's turn. We know how cold his bat has been this year. 3-1, fastball does get in there. And then Herrera comes back with another on the corner. Kepler does not like the call, and it's the second out. So it comes down to Daniel Palka. He comes off the bench, and he's impressed me this year. First pitch. Oh, a big swing and miss on the inside changeup. Herrera gets ahead and finishes him off with a pitch in the dirt, and Kansas City gets the low-scoring victory. Just a 2-1 game. And I'm getting a lot closer to thinking about roster moves to get some more out of this offense. These are games that we should be winning. And in this game for Minnesota, they also lost Jesse Chavez, who suffered a fractured forearm, and he's going to miss 1 to 2 months, which means he is headed to the 60-day DL, and we now have an opening in the starting rotation. So I had a decision to make here, and I looked down at the AAA numbers and saw a number of pitchers impressing. Cole Stewart, probably too early for him, but Barrios and Alvarez are both players you hope end up pitching at the big leagues, hopefully by the end of the year. Now, Alvarez suffered that minor injury, and I didn't really realize at first that he wouldn't have to play like right away. And I wanted Alvarez at the majors more than Barrios. I think he could use the time at AAA to work on his control. So I called up Barrios and then went through a few more games here and then realized that I probably didn't need to make that move. I think that having Barrios play longer at AAA is best for his long-term upside to get that development in, whereas Alvarez seems like he is really turning things around quickly in his second season in the organization. So Alvarez came back from his injury before that spot in the rotation even had to start, so I just decided to send Barrios back down. I know it eats up one of the options, but I thought that Alvarez is ready to play the majors now, and Barrios down the line should be ready to go after a bit more playing time. He still has a lot of walks down there and hasn't pitched a lot of innings. And so we move on to a new series against the LA Dodgers, and we end up having a situation here where Alvarez pitches against the team that traded him to Minnesota. That was the Brian Dozier trade last year. So we've come full circle with this series at Target Field. Let's get underway. Dodgers up first, and a ground ball to start the day for Andrew Toles, and the ground out is recorded. Now, after seeing Alvarez play in this series a bit, we've come to realize he's definitely a high strikeout guy, but the control wasn't always there. Early on in this game, it was definitely the best control I've seen from him so far, even going back to spring training. Here he is against Corey Seager, working very quickly in this first inning, painting that inside corner, and then the 0-2 fastball, Seager down swinging. Very impressive first inning back for Yadier Alvarez. We faced Julio Urias in this matchup, and here is Miguel Sano, whose numbers have really trailed off as he's only hitting 160 in his last 6 games. And there's a fastball that you'd expect Sano to crush. 2-2, curveball on the outside corner. It's a good call, but Sano does not like it. On to the second inning with Yadier Alvarez. 1-2 count and a line drive hit to right. That's another concern. Alvarez has allowed a lot of hard-hit contact in his time at Minnesota. But the control definitely seems improved. That was the focus with his training. 2-2, and this is going to bloop in center field as Alvarez allows the first 2 batters of this inning to reach. So can he get out of trouble as he faces the ex-twin, the 2 players who were traded for one another? Brian Dozier back in Minnesota trying to get that big hit against his former team, but he falls behind and swings and misses at the slider. Dozier down swinging. 1 down now, and a line drive into right. Another hit for LA. Bases loaded for Jonathan Lucroy. And he looks at a high fastball. That doesn't get called. Alvarez then gets a ground ball. Phillips on to second. Looking to turn two. They do get it. Defense comes through again. We have had so many clutch double plays in this season. It really has been a game changer. So despite 3 hits allowed, Alvarez does not allow any runs to come across. Unfortunately for us in this matchup, we faced the lefty Urias, and we have a lot of left-handed hitters that are struggling right now, and that was kind of magnified. Here is Eddie Rosario waving at a couple, and he goes down swinging. Now going through things a little bit quicker, Alvarez in the 3rd inning does allow a home run to Andrew Toles, and the Twins still can't get much going. On to the 4th, the Dodgers do get a couple more on base. Kind of concerning here to see all the hits Alvarez was allowing. So he does allow 3 in 4 innings as the Twins try to get any kind of offense going, but Phillips has not done much for us this year. Now it's Miguel Sano just trying to get things back on track. He does work the count full and rip this into deep left. Back to the wall for Toles, who makes the catch right at the wall. That was one of the best hit baseballs, though, that Sano's had in a while, so at least that was one positive takeaway. Here is Max Kepler now with 2 down, and he gets a piece of this back through the middle, and Dozier cannot retire his former teammate. That was the Twins' first hit of the game. That brings up Eddie Rosario. There is a slider right on the corner, great pitch by Urias, and then a front door curveball and another swinging strikeout for Eddie Rosario. We go into the 5th, Alvarez trying to settle things down after allowing 7 hits and 3 runs in his first 4 innings, and he comes back with an impressive strikeout against Yasiel Puig on the high fastball. Despite some of the hard hit contact, I was very happy with his control. 1-2 to Justin Turner, and the fastball gets the call, clipping the inside part of the plate. We go to the 6th inning, Alvarez stays in the game. Pitch count was not an issue, actually, and a big part of that was he wasn't walking anybody. There is a Brian Dozier strikeout again. With 2 down, Adrian Gonzalez grounds it softly, and Escobar makes the play. So it ends up going in the books as a quality start for Alvarez, and this is a very good Dodger lineup. I mean, they just won the World Series last year. Here we go with a fly ball to right. It does not fall in. Buxton still not having much luck. And then Miguel Sano again hitting the baseball hard, but right at the center fielder, Kike Hernandez. Tyler Duffy comes into the game later. He's done very well against righties this year, not so against lefties. And how about that strikeout from Hernandez, as he did go around on the check swing. With 1 down, Andrew Toles grounds it sharply, and Duffy is able to make quick work of the 7th inning. But what about the bats for Minnesota? Again, it keeps coming back to that. Urias going strong, but Kepler gets a hold of this. Out to deep right center, and this does leave. A solo home run for Max Kepler. The Twins on the board at last. It's Kepler's 4th home run of the season, going 402 feet. Can it spark something for this Twin offense? Eddie Rosario, scorched to right center field, but doesn't have the same carry, and this is caught. I'm starting to get a lot of confidence in Kenny Vargas, so here he is, 3-0 and swinging. It's going out to right, but again, it'll stay in the yard. We go into the 8th inning for Minnesota as LA does go to their bullpen, and Jason Castro gets aboard with a single to right. Then Brandon Phillips, he hits one hard to right field, but again right at somebody, and the Dodgers finish off that inning. Now I hoped we could go into the 9th inning with just a 2-run deficit, but that wasn't going to be the case, as Brian Dozier did homer off Jake Reed. So we end up down 3, bottom 9, here's Miguel Sano. Dodgers have the great Kenley Jansen in the game as Sano misses the cutter and then is ahead of the slider. 1 down, then a 1-2 count as Kepler goes back up the middle for his 3rd hit of the night. Twins trying to get something going, then Eddie Rosario fouls off a cutter on the inside part, and he strikes out on another cutter. Jansen now just 1 out away from another save. Here's Yunel Escobar getting a good first pitch, and he hits this back into center, so the Twins do have the tying run at the plate. and it's Kenny Vargas. 1-1. Ripped into right, single for Vargas, and they're loaded. The Twins have a chance. And in a shocking development, the Dodgers actually take Jansen out of the game. And the Twins respond by bringing in Daniel Palka, who does hit lefties pretty well. First pitch, driven to right field, but it goes foul. So close. 1-1. Fouled off again, good fastball to hit. So 1-2 to Palka. Swing and a miss, he strikes out on the changeup. And the Twins get things interesting, but it's too late, and they drop the game to the Dodgers. When Palka hit that deep fly ball, I thought he had won the game on a grand slam. That would have been the greatest win of the series. But the Twins dropped the game, again getting very little from their offense. I thought Alvarez pitched a good game. He improved at least upon his weaknesses with his control and walks. Those got a lot better. We then suffered an injury down at AA to Travis Blankenhorn. As we go into one more game against the Dodgers on Mother's Day, Twins in a position to actually get the win here as Corey Seager falls behind. And Perkins? Oh man, that slider was right there. Seager looks at it. That was not a good at-bat for him. Twins do end up taking this game, so they end up taking one of the 3 games against the Dodgers. But they're definitely starting to fall off now. They lost the first 2 to the Houston Astros and end up getting swept. And the Braves call, and they have a trade offer to make. But we're not going to pay this much attention. They're trying to get Miguel Sano for, I don't really care what they're offering. It's not going to happen. We get swept, though, by the Astros. Again, no run support. And this team is kind of coming back down to earth now as they go from 18-10 to 21-19. Not starting out the month of May very well. So there will be some moves next episode as we try to get this offense in the right direction. There have been some impressive hitters down at AAA, and I'm even actually considering if it's time for Nick Gordon to make his debut. I'm not sure the timing is ideal. We could definitely use his help. Not sure if he's ready, but there are other players that might be deserving of the opportunity. I thought about sending down Max Kepler. Then he has a 3-for-4 game. Still might end up giving him a little bit of time down at AAA to get things corrected. I also thought about sending down Brandon Phillips. And the most logical replacement for him would be Nick Gordon. Unless we give that to Eduardo Escobar instead. So I have some decisions to make. The Red Wings are now 1 game above 500, and the Lookouts are crushing it at 26-14. Looking at some more numbers at AAA. Who could we call up? Ryan Strasburger has hit very well down there. We haven't seen Nico Goodrum get a chance here at the Bigs. Unfortunately, Quentin Berry is injured, and I thought about calling him up. But I do want to move some things around in the minor leagues. We have a lot of players down at AA who should be getting some looks at AAA. Maybe even for the young Willie Ordonez. Maybe Mitch Garver can go up. Johnny Sandoval's hitting the ball well. I like what that AA team is doing this year. Those are a lot of players that we drafted, and our farm system is looking like it's going in the right direction. The pitching down at AA is unfair, by the way. They again are overmatching their opponents. Gary Tadano has the worst ERA at 4.1. But that is going to do it for today. If you have any suggestions for roster moves and how we can improve this lineup, leave them down below in the comment section. I do want to have some new players ready to get their chances next episode. Thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you enjoyed the episode. Please leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all next time. Have a great day.